Hello, bears. I hope you guys are having a great day, regardless of what time you're watching this. So today's topic, we are going to talk about multiplying integers. So we all know the four operations. We've been dealing so far with a lot of addition and subtraction, and now we're going to get into multiplication, and division will shortly follow that. So what I want you guys to notice is this table up here at the top. So this table has the number of negatives and answer outcome. So that means in an equation or a sequence of numbers, if I have 0 negative numbers, my answer is always going to be positive. If I have 1 negative number, my answer is going to be negative. 2 negatives, positive. 3 negatives, negative. 4 negatives, the answer is going to be positive. So I want you guys to take a second and just see if you notice any patterns. So when is our outcome negative? When is our outcome positive? Just kind of take a second and see if you guys notice anything and what you guys do notice. All right, I paused myself, so hopefully you guys have kind of come up with a few ideas. Your answer for that will go in this text box right here. Really what you should be noticing is that here we have 0, 2, and 4 are all the positive answer outcomes. So all even number of negatives will give you a positive answer outcome. If you have an odd number of negatives, like 1 and 3, 5, 7, 9, your answer outcome will always be negative. So we're going to get into some multiplication rules. So thing about math is usually there is kind of a proper order for things. This is one of those nice outcomes in which that happens. So if you multiply two positive numbers, so like up here when we said we had 0 negatives, that would be the case. So positive times a positive, we know the answer is going to be positive. That's if we had 3 times 3, 3 times 7, 7 times 21. Any two positive numbers multiplied together gives us a positive answer. So if we have a positive and a negative, again, we're going to go back up here to our chart. Whenever there is just one negative number, my answer outcome is negative. So we're going to replace the lines with the word negative. But if I have a negative and a negative, again, if we go back up here to the chart, that means we have two negative numbers. It says my answer is going to be positive, so we're going to include positive right here. And if I have a negative times a positive, again, that is one negative. My answer outcome table says it's going to be negative. So make sure you guys have negative filled in there. And I'm going to zoom in this a little bit so you can see these examples a little bit better. So make sure you guys can see the rules and the examples. Okay, so if I have 12 times 3, we're going to look up here to our multiplication rules and figure out which one we are dealing with. Let me bullet this really quick. So hopefully that stays when you guys are doing yours. So I have a positive times a positive. I know my answer is going to be positive. You don't have to have the plus sign, but we just know it's going to be a positive answer. So I need to think through my multiplication facts. I can either count up by 3s, so 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, or start counting up by my 12s, 12, 24. 12 times 3 is going to give me 36. We know that is positive. So all of these answers are going to have 36 in it some way or another because we know it's 12 times 3. However, we need to figure out which ones are positive and which ones negative. Here we have a positive 12 times a negative 3. Positive times a negative says that we're going to have a negative answer. So it's a negative 36. Negative 12 times negative 3. Negative times a negative is a positive, so we can leave that one as positive 36. And here we have a negative 12 times positive 3 is 36. Negative times a positive gives us a negative. So the 4 different representations, here we should have a positive, negative, positive, negative. We do. We have a positive, a negative, and a negative. So you guys just need to make sure you are following those 4 multiplication rules. If I added, let's say if I go down here to this example and add times -1, that would automatically make my answer negative, because we would go back, we would have 1 negative, a bunch of positives. So if you think back to the table at the top, that means it's going to have to be a negative answer. So you need to make sure you're counting all the numbers being multiplied together. Otherwise, on the next slide, you guys have about 10 example problems to kind of run through just to make sure. I would flip back to this rule slide, just make sure you guys are following the proper procedure. So that's on the left side of the slide. On the right side, there's a link that's going to take you to a GIMP kit. Just go ahead and work through that the rest of the class period. If class goes ahead and ends, you do not need to finish the GIMP kit. I think it asks you to get a score of 1,000. If you don't get to there and class ends, that's okay, but you should be working on this most, if not all, of the class period. Again, if you need me, go ahead and click on the Zoom link if you have questions. You guys should be pretty much calculator free while doing this. I know it's hard. Most of you have it on your computer, you have phones. Try your best to keep those multiplication facts fresh in your head. If you need to check your answers, I'm okay if you check it, but you guys should give it a shot without a calculator first. So again, if you have questions, click on the Zoom link or GoGuardian message me. Otherwise, go ahead and get started, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.